Good morning, folks. Welcome in. It is House Edge Live. It's John from Casino Gaming Central. Here we go. A new week and new topic. I kind of teased last week that I was going to do this week on ladders, and I kind of lied. We're going to do it in a couple of weeks. What I really want to do is take a little step towards it, a progression, if it were, or as it were. We'll do a little bit of positive progressions this week, and I want to talk about just sort of the ways that typically I and most people think about gambling, which is ways to make more money with less as a base. Next week, we'll look at negative progressions, which is the opposite of that. Folks that like to use heavy bankroll to chase loss to guarantee smaller wins. More of the boring bump on a pickle. They're both kind of bump on a pickle ways to play, but one of them is more, let me just catch a streak and make some money. One's more like, let me ride out the bad shit and make money at the end. And we'll take those 2 weeks kind of back to back, and then in week 3 coming up, we'll do a little deep dive into ladders. And for that, I really wanted to spend some time with some of the guys that we all know and love that play ladders all the time, and kind of schedule with them, plan it out a little bit, get them on the show, and maybe later in the month we'll do a ladder week with the guys. So that's the plan. That's the plan moving forward. And as we get into that, reminders, of course, our daily reminders, right? The casino, that business model. Although we love it, and I'm not going to deny, I love going to the casino. I enjoy gambling. I get a thrill out of winning, just like y'all do. But I have my eyes wide open that they're there to take my money. Like, that whole business model is in bankrupting its customers. So just don't forget it as we go in. All these things we talk about are for fun, right? We're trying to have a good time, trying to maximize our experience while we're there. And I think that not getting your tail handed to you is a way to maximize your experience. And that's why I always talk through the bridge, right? It's like, if you've got the bankroll to do a thing, do a thing. If you don't have the bankroll for that thing, don't try it. Like, your bankroll really is important. It's the one thing on the list that's tactical, right? That you have, like, that's going to drive a lot of your decisions, right? But also, if your bankroll doesn't marry up with your type of risk that you want to play with, if you can't identify when you're up, or when it's time to leave, or when it's time to just go and like let it happen, right? You're gonna have a bad time. If you don't have discipline, if you don't set goals, and your emotions get in the way of things, again, you're gonna have a bad time. These things don't make you win. Okay, that's not what we're saying. These things improve your experience there. And if you're in the right headspace, you got a better chance of walking away up when you are up, and a better chance of not chasing the loss when you're down. And that's what really, I think, I want to say it's the secret, but it's part of the secret sauce. It's like, you got to have a good way to play and all that kind of stuff, but you cannot give it away when you're up, and you cannot chase it when you're down. You just can't. Most people can't survive that. And the casino, again, their business model being such that they want to take all of your money, they're depending on you to do exactly that. So hopefully throughout our series of shows and kind of when I'm on the planet, I think I found my calling. I'm on this planet to kind of talk to you guys through this stuff. Hope that it starts to resonate. All right. This week, again, we're going to jump into this notion of positive progressions. Okay. And I think that I'm going to present it very simply. I'll go to my table today and show you some simple progressions. But honestly, don't just look at it as number progressions, and that's how I'm going to probably teach it today, as number progressions, but don't think of it as that simple. We're going to look at pressing patterns. Really, positive progressions are pressing patterns. Whatever the pattern you want to follow is, that's what I'm talking about today. What I'm going to show you today can be applied to any bet. A 50-50 bet like Baccarat or Blackjack, red and black and roulette, dozens or columns in roulette, the 2-to-1 bets, anything on a craps table. These theories apply. And I think if you can find ways to do a good positive progression that A, works when it works, B, you can remember and not screw it up no matter what's going on around you, right? And C, is respectful of your bankroll, you might have a shot of catching a streak and doing a little better job when the going is good. That's the idea of the positive ones, right? Tomorrow, we'll do a little bit of fact or fiction. I'll present both sides of it. I'll give you the counterpoint tomorrow, which is kind of our pattern now, right? Mondays we'll do like what it is. Tuesday we'll do point counterpoint. Wednesday I'm gonna run it through, and pardon me. Thursdays we'll do a little bit of a group therapy session, and you can tell me if you like it or not. So, all right, Jen says, well, my last casino trip, I actually go all the time here in town. I do my local little blackjack casino because I don't have a craps table anywhere near me. It's 2 hours to drive, Jen. So I don't go that often because I have to really make an overnight trip out of it now. But I do play blackjack down here a couple times a week now. So that's become my not my game of choice, but the game I'm kind of forced to play. So I play that pretty religiously. And again, with a small bankroll and a little goal, and I'm getting them with 1,000 paper cuts. I will be in Vegas actually. You know what? Good question. I'm going to be in Vegas. Look at my calendar here. Hold on a second. Now I got to look at my calendar. I think it's going to be the 18th. Let me take a look here. No, Monday the 20th. Or actually Tuesday 21st of April. I'm going to leave Wenatchee and go to Vegas. I'm going to be there for probably 3 months. I'm going to be there about 3 weeks and then back home for a week, 3 weeks back home. I'm going to be working on site at Casino Quest. I'll actually be running classes at the school, craps classes and roulette classes, and I'll be building the app there in person. So I'll be doing a lot of Vegas trips, a lot of Vegas play coming up pretty soon. So yeah, grinding out wins at blackjack, Jen. It's grinding out the wins. You know me. How well do you know me, right? I grind them out. I've had a couple of nice ones though. What I've done actually is funny. I think I told you, I'm going to get on a little sidetrack here, but we have this really cool little casino just down the road from me. They've got like 5 blackjack tables, a pie gal table. They've got 3-card poker, 4-card poker, and something else, UTH. I just play blackjack. And all around here, everybody plays these side bets. We have like the blackjack is a $3 game, if you can believe that. $3 for blackjack, and there's $3 side bets that people play. The locals here literally play the $3 blackjack, no bust. They play no bust strategy, almost all of them. And they play $1, $2, $3 on the side bets. They're literally looking for side bet wins. That's all. There's hedging. They're using blackjack, the play, to pay for their side bet wins. That's how they play. It's hysterical. But I'm using that. That's where I work on these things. Like I work on my 1, 3, 2, 4s. All of the patterns that I try and show you guys, the parlay press that I do, I work them all at that table down there. I go up there and I'm like $5 base and I'll work it. And I'll go to a $10 base and I'll work it. I'll go to a $25 base and I'll work it. And just try things out at this low limit and just work through it. You know what I mean? And making $50, $100 a day when I go up there. That's literally what I do. And I just try stuff out on the closest to a 50-50 game that I can get to. So baseball talking, he loves you too. Loves all of us. And it's a shame. Some things happened over the weekend that, man, I don't get me into it. Don't get me into it. There were some things I heard over the weekend that I was not real happy about from a couple of people. But anyway, you guys know that I'm actually, we celebrated Easter over the weekend, but I'm actually Orthodox. So our Easter is actually next weekend. The Greek Easter, we call it. Greek Easter's next weekend. But anyway, all right, let's get to it. Let's have some fun. Let's do something interesting. I want to get into the ABCs, and the ABCs of gambling today are going to be, again, we're going to start this little series on positive progressions. And what do I mean by a positive progression? A positive progression to me is this notion of risking a little to win a lot. And what that really means is hitting a streak. Okay. You can do all sorts of other ways to play. We've talked about regressions. We've talked about negative progressions. We've talked about all these ways of spreading out, and even in roulette, you can spread out and get different numbers. But a positive progression to me is starting with a low size bet, waiting it out. And when the streak comes to you, again, you cannot predict the streak. Don't let the gambler's fallacy get you, but you cannot predict the streak. But when it comes to you, you're set up to take advantage of it. And that's all that progression betting really is. It's hunting down streaks by laying in wait. You're like a cougar. You're waiting. And when it happens, you strike. And that's it. All that means is low bet. You win one, find a way to press it up in some meaningful way and continue a series of bets that progress and collect at the same time. Basically it. Very simple. Very simple. When you find a streak and you get through your streak, look at where you are. Do I have money in my tray or not? Am I ahead or not? Is it enough for me to leave or not? Do I get the hell out of here? Or do I reinvest, leverage up, and go again? Always things. Yeah, the pass line parlay is one of them for sure, Jen, as you say. The 1-3-2-4 is a good one. There's a 2-3-1-4. There's all sorts of different ways to sort of play it out. And I find that, as we're doing this, you can actually, I think, have some interesting fun when you look at different ways of doing it. These hedging and opposings, right? I'll show you one today from Dr. Don't Pass that he likes to do, which I think is a very interesting one. But you can do it in roulette too. You can do it with the 4 and 10. There's all sorts of ways to kind of approach it. And if you can get to a point where your bankroll will allow you to leverage the base up for a second run, if you're at that level, then it works out really kind of cool. So let me actually head down to the table here. And I want to show you a couple of simple ideas. I'm going to move my thing out the way there. And let's see if this works. Let's see, does that work? No, it does not work. Let me go back. Hold on. I got to go back over here. That button doesn't work. I got to go to this button. Nope. Why is my my camera's off. That's why it didn't work. Hold on. I didn't check it before I started this morning. The overhead camera got turned off. Hold on. Please work. Otherwise, this is going to be a terrible demo today. Come on, you can do it. There we go. All right. Sorry about that. I should have checked that before we started. Okay. On the craps table we go. And I'm going to show you a couple of these things that I think work pretty well. And Jen brought it up, so I'm going to show you the pass line parlay, which is kind of fun. And I think you really should know, as we do these things, count the wins. I think when we a lot of people always ask us, what do we think about what's the bankroll that you need to get through something? Count the wins, and that'll help you through. Let's look at a pass line parlay. We're going to go to the pass line. And again, this can be, I use my craps table because that's what I had. This is actually my mouse pad, believe it or not. When I say pass line, don't pass, they're basically a 50-50 bet. Not quite 50-50, but they're close. Same as blackjack, same as red-black roulette, same as Bach. So I can show you on these bets, whatever I show you here, you can translate to blackjack or baccarat or red-black, high-low, even odd, and roulette. It's the same exact pattern, just that those games it happens faster. Here's the pass line parlay. And again, you're going to start with a 1 unit bet, whatever your unit size is. If it's $5, if it's $10, if it's 15, if it's 25, if it's 100. Do your own bankroll decides the size of that bet, number one. Okay, now the pass line parlay is either 3 or 4 consecutive wins. And again, if you lose, you're going to lose the smallest bit you can. Whatever you're comfortable with losing. If it's a quarter, fine. If you lose again, that's 2 losses. If you lose again, you're losing a little when you lose. But if you catch a little bit of a run, now watch what happens in a run. We lost 3 in a row. Person throws a come out 7, and we win, and we parlay the win. Maybe it's a come out 11, and it's a 2 unit win, and we parlay the win. That's the second hit. Okay. Now they set a point. Let's say they set a point of 8. I'll move the bank over here. And they hit their point of 8. Fantastic. It's a 4 unit win. Okay. On the third win, it was a 7, or a 7 and 11. And now they hit the point of 8. You have 8 units, right? You lost 3. You invested 1 to make this run happen. So you have 4 units that were invested. Okay. 4 of those units are gobbled up by part of your win, and you're up 3. That's on 3 hits. Okay. Now, if you were going to do this and say, there's my 3 losses, there's my parlayed win. If you want to go for hit number 4, if you're that ballsy and take a 4 in a row hit, well, here it comes. 4 in a row wins you 8. That last one wins you 4, 8. And your net would be, again, 1, 2, 3 that you lost plus the 1 that you invested to get here. There's 8, 12, 15 units in profit. Okay. If it works out, it's 15 units in profit for 4 in a row. Now, 4 in a row is not easy to get. That's why I say 3 or 4. Depends on where your life is, right? Remember we talked about the bridge? Let me go back a screen. I can't go back a screen, can I? I can't. I say, I'm going to go back over here again because this is important. When we talk bridge, right? Your level of risk married with your bankroll determines what you can do. You follow? You cannot do the 4th hit. You should not parlay for the 4th win if you're short stack bankrolled and your risk tolerance is 0. If you don't like a lot of risk, after 1, 2, 3 hits, be done. Take the 3 or 4 unit net win and go or restart. If you're a high risk person and you've got some banking bankroll, take the fourth shot, because that fourth shot takes you from a 3-unit net win to a 15-unit net win. It's not a little bit. It's a lot of risk, right? It's actually not a lot of risk. It's a 1-unit risk, but it's a lot of like, oh my God, right? That's the difference between understanding how your risk and your bankroll marry up. If you don't have that in you, you're going to have a problem. And that's what I say all the time. So anyway, that's the pass line parlay. I'll give you another one. One of my favorites. And there's all sorts of offshoots of this one here. But again, this one is nice. It's the 1-3-2-4, which I know you've seen before, but here we go. It's a 2-unit investment per shooter, by the way, or per outcome. Because you're going to get a 1-unit bet. If it wins a unit, you have to add a unit from your stack. So it's 1-unit bet to a 3-unit bet. It's a big time power press to get this 3. Okay, that's the first win. Let's mark the wins with whites. That's your first win. Okay, your second win at level 3 is, of course, a 3-unit bet. And what you do is you regress your bet down to 2 units. 1-3, 2-unit bet. Now, what happens over here in the rack is there's 2 units that you invested. The first bet that you made, the power press you had to make, and you've got 2 units locked in profit, which means if this fails, you have a free shot at it. You earn a new bullet. You earn another crack at trying it for free. You also have a guaranteed 2-unit profit. If you're playing with black chips or purple chips, that's $1,000. If you're playing with purple chips, you've got that kind of bankroll, and you're doing a 1-3-2-4 at the purple level, that's $1,000. Let's not forget that. Okay, now, after the second hit, you're back to level 2. On the third hit, you would win 2, like so, and you would go to level 4. 1-3, 2, and now it's a 4-unit bet. If you catch 4 in a row here, you win 4, 8, 10 total units. Now, what does it need bankroll-wise to do this? If you're going to win 10, and it takes 2 to make the 10 happen, you got to use 2, right? You got 5 cracks at it. So you can give this really 5 bullets. You can bring 5 sets of 2 to try and win 10. If you don't get it done, it ain't gonna happen for you that day. Because after this, you're gonna be upside down. Even if on number 6 or 7, if you pull a move off, you're down, which folks don't realize. So make sure you've got the right number of bankroll. And again, if you win on that level 3, the second one, you've got these free bullets, can extend your lifespan. But start with 5 2-unit bullets. That's the 1-3-2-4. Now, some people will go a different way, and they'll say, "Look, why don't we do a 2-3-1-4? Let's look at the difference. Start out with 2. Now, again, you're guaranteed to put 2 units into this one. In the 1-3-2-4, you start with 1. You have to add 1. Here, you're always having 2 at risk. Okay, so again, 5 bullets probably, right? 2 wins 2, right? Then you go to 3, a little bit of a press up, and you pull 1 back. Now your risk is 50%. After the first one, you brought half of your initial investment back. That's a 2-3. Sorry. There's 2, right? Now we're going to hit on the 3, 2-3, all the way down to 1. 2-3, 1. Okay? You have 1, 2. There's your initial money back. 1, 2, 3, 4 units in profit. Okay? Your money's back after the second hit, and you've got 4 units in profit. Again, if you're playing with blacks, $400 over here. 5 if you include this. You're playing with purples, big time money. Right here we are with $100 in profit essentially. On the third one, when you're down at level 1, you take the hit, you grab 2, and you go to 4. You still have 2 units in profit. You're still able to do it again for free. Nice 4-unit win. You end up in the same spot. 10 units in profit if it works itself out for you. So why the difference? One is a guaranteed loss of 2. One's a guaranteed loss of 1. This one here locks up more money on that second hit. That's the difference here. The 2-3-1-4 locks you to 4 units on the second hit. The other one gives you 2 units. It's about that second hit and where you're going to end up. So again, you pick your own poison here. Okay. Now, I want to look at this from a different level. Those are just simple ones, right? And I can give you numbers for others. If you want to go 2, for example, 2 units, win 2 units, go to 3. So it's 2, 3, 3 wins 3, go to 4. 2, 3, 4 wins 4, go to 5. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is add a unit, add a unit, add a unit. And every single time you're bringing back major profit. So 2, Let's do that again. I'll show you that from the start. Let's go to 2 at the start. Okay. 2 wins 2. That's hit number 1. Go to 3. Hit number 2. 3 wins 3. Goes to 4. Hit number 3. 4 wins 4. It goes to 5. Look at your growth stack over here on the left hand side. On the 4th hit, 5 wins 5. Potentially goes to 6. But if you take a look at your actual profit from your initial 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And the same 4 hits, 14 units versus 10. But again, you got to start with 2. That right there is a simple up and pull. Ken calls this the up and pull, right? It's been known as that for years. You can just call it 2, 3, 1, 4. Or 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's very easy to do. And if you think about any other bet on the table, you can do the same thing. Now watch this on craps. Here we go. Ready for craps? Let's take a $30 6. We'll just take one bet as an example. $30 6. You can call that a 2-unit bet. Actually, let's do it on the 5. Nah, let's do the 6 and 8 is fine. We call this a 2-unit bet. Okay, we're going to go 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, let's do it like this. I'm going to do it here because the math it's easier to see this way. So 2 units of 30, so $60 here. Okay, that's a 2-unit bet. Okay, if that wins, it wins $70. Now watch the difference here. There's 70. Okay, 2 go to 3. So make it look like 3 units on each. And here's money back. 3 pays $105. Go to a 4-unit bet. Now you're at 120. And there's your $60. There's some profit. You got your money back. You got your profit here. Night level 4. Okay. Pays 140. So 125, 140. Just raise it by a unit. Bring the rest back. Look at how fast your stack is going. Right? Now you're at 150 on that 6. Pays 175. And again, I'll do 175. You can add 1 unit. Now you're 180. And you can see how this thing grows up. After 4 hits or so, you're at 100, 200, 300 and change in profit. Again, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 unit press every time. You keep these things nice and sane, it makes good sense, right? 1 unit per press. That's a very simple pattern. Now, can I apply what I showed you before, the 1, 3, 2, 4 on other bets? You're damn right I can. Watch this. Look at the 1, 3, 2, 4 and the 4 or the 10. Let's take the 10 as the example. 10 wins 2, right? Again, take the VIG out of the equation for now, right? 25 wins 50. It goes right to 3. Right to 3. Because without a power press, you have a 1 unit risk to get this done, right? Right to 3. 3 wins $150. 75 wins 150. Down to a 2 unit bet. Here's your money back. Here's your 150 in profit. Here's a $50 bet. If that bet happens to win and you press it up to 150, the next one is 300 and you're out. And look at that profit. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, $600 on that 10. If you can pull off 4 10s before a 7. Now, is that hard? Shit, yeah, it's hard. But guess what? The 4 and 10, you know what they're the same as? They're the same as dozens on a roulette table. So when I do 4 and 10 demos, right? You've got a 33% chance to win here, a 33% chance to win there. The dozens in roulette, the columns in roulette are the exact same thing. You got about a third of the coverage, and they both pay 2 to 1. These could independently go 1, 3, 2, 4. Independently, you could have these things bumped up, right? 10 could win 2 and get to 3. The 4 could win 2 and get to 3. The 10 could win that 150, go down to a 2 unit bet. The 4 might lose. You can put the 4 right back and you're still initial profit up $100. You can work those 2 with the exact same pattern. Again, because they pay more. On a roulette table, a dozen and a dozen, you can work it the exact same way. One could be bumped up, one could lose. You can pay the winnings back and forth, and you can hedge your time out. Hedging these things works pretty well. I know a guy named Dr. Don't Pass One, who I'll call out by name today, likes to do this. He likes to do A 2, 3, 1, 4 from the don't pass. Let's roll it out real quick. A 2, 3, 1, 4 from the don't pass. He's going to lose, of course. We'll do another one. There's an 11. Let's get a number here. 6, 2, 3, 1, 4 here, and a 1, 3, 2, 4 from the DC. Let's watch this play itself out. There's an 8 behind the 8. And again, we'll play these two independently. 1, 3, 2, 4, 2, 3, 1, 4. Just see what happens here. There's a 6. We'll lose that. Still working the 7, but he's going to start again with a 2-unit bet down here to kind of rock the thing out. Another 6. Wow, look at that 6 getting destroyed. Holy crap, he's down. I got to mark this up. He's down 150 here. I'm going to roll this out in a longer, I'll put the losses over here, in a longer form, probably on Wednesday. There's an 8. We lose the 8. I'll put the losses over here again, but let's come on out with the DC. 7 out. So we lose this. We'll pay our losses from there, wins 2, right? He's going to go to a 3 down here. He has 1 unit kind of in profit. That'll be his next DC. And again, here's the loss pile. The losses are 6. We'll just play it out for a couple more minutes. Look at the 6. Holy cannoli. There's the 1. That goes to the 9. There's a yo. There's an 8. There's a, boy, the 6. He lost his press. What a bummer. Anyway, we're running low on time here, but that's the pattern, right? He would come back out again with a 2-unit bet down here in the don't and keep rocking a 1, the 2, 3, 1, 4 here, 1, 3, 2, 4 here. By these two hedging each other off, you saw when I did get the 1 win, it covered this one up. If you don't have the consecutive loss streak in the beginning, we still have a chance to win 10 here and 10 here if both of these things rock themselves through. We can take one more run through and we'll just check this thing through. There's a 9. My goodness gracious. We're getting destroyed over here. No presses are winning. That goes to the 4, behind the 4. How about a 7 here? 5, 8, 6, 4. Oh, wow. Another DC. Good gravy. 6, 8. Where's the 7s? 11. My God, what a day. Another 6. Holy hell. Good Lord. What a day. There's another 8. Aces. Where was that a minute ago, right? A 6. 7. Finally. Good gravy. All right. 1 there and 2 here. Our loss pile is down to 6 units, right? That goes to 3. This one's going to go to 3 too. We'll do one more run. We'll see how we come through it. 5. 3 units to the don't. 8. Oh, that's not a great number for it. 7 out. Look at that. There's a 3-unit win there. 3-unit win here. And guess what? We're actually even. After all that mess, we evened out our losses. Isn't that funny how that works out? But hedging them both, opposing each other, interesting way of doing it, right? Having a 1, 3, 2, 4 on the red in roulette while you're doing a 1 or a 3, 2, 1, 4 on the dozen. Interesting little hedge there. All right, let's come on back. Let's come. Yeah, always do I do the best demos or what? Every time I do a demo, I destroy whatever I'm trying to do. It's so damn funny. All right, back we go to reality here. Let's go here. I need to get to this screen. That one. Let me run into some questions here and just see what you guys are talking about. Boy, that's so funny. Let's see. Dice Coach, stack, don't rack. That is the pass line parlay. The pass line parlay is stack it, don't rack it from Dice Coach. It's exactly what he does it 3 times. I'll push the 4th one. I think it's one of the most underrated moves in all of craps, by the way. That pass line parlay. I know people don't like the pass line. They don't like right side play. But let me tell you something. That come out sequence sometimes, bang, bang, bang. I see somebody get 3 or 4 in a row almost every time I play. That will work if you give it the chance to work. All right. Let's see. Dr. S says thrive during the chop. That's the ladder. Ladders are chop killers for sure, right? But yeah, when we get to negative progression week, or not negative, that's next week. Ladders the week following. We'll jump into some of that and you'll see. And people will see how ladders, what I really want to break down, Dr. S, that week is how ladders work, because Waylon makes it look like magic. He just rolls the dice and makes money. And people don't really understand how a ladder works. And I think getting into the way that chips move in a ladder and really looking at the rack or your stack and seeing how does the ladder actually move money to you, I don't think most people understand it. And when you see it, you're going to go, "Oh, that's exactly what I was like." That's the missing piece of how it works. Now, it doesn't mean it's magic, but it's magic in the way that it kind of happens. You'll see what I mean by that. All right. Yeah, a lot of people do, Jen, have a hard time adding the first chip for the 1, 3, 2, 4. Right? That's a tough pull for a lot of folks. I get it. But if you do it on other numbers, it's actually interesting. And if you're already ahead, it works well. It works really well. Like if you're, for example, let me go to the table one more time. I want to show you something kind of cool. If you're playing, let's like that one play that I like a lot. You've seen me play this at the casinos, Jen. The 110 and you pull, right? So let's say we get a 6. It's $35, right? Whatever. And you pull the 9 down and make the 9 look like $10, right? A 1, 3, 2, 4 on that one is not that bad. A 1, 3, 2, 4 here is not the worst thing, right? I got some money back, but let's say the 9 does hit and it's 15 for 1. And whatever. I add a nickel from my rack to make that look like a 3-unit bet, right? And that's going to pay $42, right? 30 pays 42. And I'm back down to a 2-unit bet, right? That bet alone has brought in 25, 35, 45, $52 from a $10 bet. 1, 3, 2, 4 on the third hit is a $50 win on a 5 or a 9 with a $5 extra investment. So that just, again, it's a pattern. It's just a pattern you can follow. And I think if you're like me and you can get distracted sometimes by your friends, Jen, I know you get distracted by your friends sometimes, right? Having patterns to bet with like this makes it easier to remember where you are, right? That's why most of my pressing patterns are very simple because I want to not forget where I am. And so all these things, these numbers we apply to the bets up here, it's just pressing patterns that you can easily remember. So yeah, the 2-to-1 payout makes that not so bad for sure. For sure. All right. Let's go back here. I think that's the last thing. All right. We'll end with the acronym from Sweet Lou. We start with the bridge. We end with focus, right? Follow your plan, observe table conditions, control your emotions, understand the game you're playing and the odds of what you're betting on, and stay disciplined. Again, not secret sauce to win, but secret sauce not to lose your tail when things go bad. It's all about staying in focus. Everything in the bridge, everything that Lou says, everything I try and teach is all about keeping your heart out of the mix. These are all head games we play with each other. We win the game within ourselves. We got a better chance of walking away in a better place than we started. So that's it, everybody. Happy Monday. Have a good rest of your week. I will see you tomorrow morning. We're going to do, tomorrow we'll do a little fact or fiction. I'm going to run the opposite side of this. I'm going to play devil's advocate tomorrow. And we'll see if positive progressions, in your opinion, are fact or fiction. Have a good day. I'll see you later. Bye.